Well, good morning, everybody. This is an exciting day. I'm just in the van and I'm heading up to Silverstone to KTM UK to pick up my brand new 990 RCR, which is being prepared, and that's the bike that I'm going to be racing this year around Europe. And I'm going to be taking it in this amazing van, which I will probably do a bit of a walk around later on anyway, if I've not already. So yeah, it's time to hit the road. I've got my Starbucks skinny latte and a nut bar, and yeah, we're off up the A34, can be notoriously difficult road up to Silverstone. So yeah, we've got a couple of hours drive, and we'll see you very, very shortly, and I'm very excited, and I think this year is going to be very, very orange. Okay, bye. Well, we finally made it. It started to rain, and I was going to ride the bike back home, but I'm really glad I bought the van, because when I flip this camera around, you're going to see how sexual and delicious this bike is. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, bop. Look at that. So what you're looking at now is the championship winning KTM 990 RCR, and this is my baby. I've got good vibes, I've got good energy, and I think she's going to treat me well. And weirdly, this is probably the first bike I've bought that I've never actually ridden. I didn't even have a go on the press bike, nothing. So when I get this back home and go out on it, it will literally be the first time that I've ridden this bike. However, I'm relying on the internet for insights on how good it is. Ready to race. And I'm purposefully, the guys here were saying, oh, we're going to take you through all the stuff on the dash. I'm just going to do it completely blind, like straight in. So I can give you guys an idea of how intuitive it is and what's going on, because this is really like a totally fresh opening start to reinvigorating my KTM ownership. I've actually had a couple of KTMs in the past. I've had 2 Super Dukes, I think, or was it 3? And yeah, when this came out, I was just like, just looking at it, I was like, that is super cool. Granted, I kind of hope it would have another 20 or 30 horsepower under it. However, I think when we put the exhaust on, which I've ordered, so I've ordered the Acra race system, we should be about, I think, what was this on the JHS dyno? It was 109, I think, or something like that. No, it's a bit more than that, actually. It was 114, something like that. So we should be about 120, 125. And I've lost 20 kilos since then, since I last rode a KTM. So hopefully that should work out in displacement. And I also made sure I got the tail cowl, the seat cowl. But yeah, here we go. There she is. She's ready to ride. So I'm going to sling this in the van now and then get it back to HQ, give it a little rub down, protect it, get some bits on it, get some, because the roads are so salty and bad, and I just want it to be in optimum condition. So I'm going to do a bit of a pre-ride detail, and then hopefully the sun should come out tomorrow, and then I can take it for a ride and let you know if I like it or not. Right, cool. Let's get this in the van and head off back down south. All right, see you later, boys. Okay, well that's all loaded up, and now it's back down the M40, and then I'm going to go and have a little play, give it a little clean, protect it, do what I can, and maybe if the weather gets a little bit nicer today, go out for a ride, but I think it's probably going to be tomorrow, because we live in a sort of, I don't know, like a quagmiry bog of a country. But anyway, super excited, looks really great. Hopefully I've strapped it down all right in the back, and yeah, see you in a bit. Right, bye. Well, she stayed upright in the van, and we're back at HQ. And apologies for the lighting. I'm actually just waiting to get some batten lights up there to make it a little easier in here. And yeah, here she is. So now I'm out of the earshot of KTM. I can say what I truly think. But actually, I'm more excited now I've seen it than before I ordered it, if that makes sense. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is clean it. And I know it's brand new, but what I'd like to do is get all the sort of any dusty, greasy bits off it. And then I'm going to do a bit of ceramic coating. Muck off, do a ceramic coating kit, which I've never used before, but I'm going to try it and give it a go. And then I'm going to go and search for parts. Like, I think I definitely need a tail tidy. These rear sets are, I'm sure they're fine, but I mean, that's a bit cheap, isn't it, that thing? Looks like it's out of a chip fryer or something. The finish on this is nice, but when on track, I can't deal with flappy wobblers. So I'm going to try and get some track rear sets, maybe some engine covers, GB Racing or something. The shock, so obviously when you, well not obviously, when you enter the RC 990, hang on, the 990 RCR Cup, you get a parts package, which is a WP shock, you get the 4 cartridges, you get a set of wheels, I think it is, and then a few other bits and bobs. But I've also ordered a full Akropovich system, which is hopefully going to arrive in time. But for now, I'm just going to protect it, get it all sorted out, and put the miles on it, so then we can get it through the first service, get the exhaust stuff done, and hopefully we'll be on target, because it's only about a month before I need to leave. So this is going to have to be, for me, a fairly swift turnaround. And also, I need to figure out how it actually works. So let's just quickly run down for the parts I need to go racing. The track fairing does not fit. So there's a 990 RCR track bike, which has race fairing, but that does not fit on the road bike. And I think that's something to do with the subframe at the front and some various mounting points. So I'm gonna have to race with this kit, which will be fine. But yeah, I wanted to put it in track mode, but I'm not gonna be able to, so that's fine. I'll get the mirror blanking plates. I'm definitely gonna get a rad guard, mainly just because, you know, that can ruin your race weekend. I had a broken rad on the Super Twins and it ended up, the bike overheated and it ended up lunching the motor. So obviously to race, you need to have a brake lever guard. So I'll find one of those. I'll probably get a tail tidy just because I want it to look a bit nicer. I might even race with the number plate on, just because I think it's pretty cool. Seat cowl looks good. What else do we get? Yeah, so this will be the cartridge kit going in here later, the WP cartridge kit. Obviously the master cylinder is pretty good. I might disable, I don't know how the ABS system works in this, but I might just get a direct line straight to the calipers, so that needs to be done. Probably a taller screen if anyone makes anything. Yeah, we're early doors. This is quite a new bike, so there's not a lot of aftermarket parts available. But yes, I'm really looking forward to it. So let's get her cleaned up, even though she's immaculate, get her protected. Hopefully the weather tomorrow is looking good. So hopefully the next time you see this, I'll be wheeling it out of the workshop and ready to ride. And I'll give you my first impressions of a bike I've never ridden and just bought. Okay guys, well, I will see you in a bitty bit. Do I look cool? I mean, I know I look cool. Anyway, so I'm going to swap now to the DJI. This is an Action 5, and hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing with my hands. Got my little valet box. So I'm just going to clean it quickly first. By the way, so Muck Off, that's the sponsor on 44 Teeth this year, and I've got a discount code, which I think at the moment is BVG1. So check the link in the description for 20% off. How does the bag work? Here we go. And look at this. I feel like, you know those guys in like action films, like when they get like a torturist in. Is that what a tortured person would be called, a torturist? Anyway. Okay, how does this work? Preparing the surface. Thoroughly wash your bike using nanotechnology, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, surface prepped. Let's get the magic juice on it. And then we want to apply in a crosshatch way. We've got rainbows. Can you see the rainbow? Can you see the rainbow? And very important, do not leave it on for more than 5 minutes. Okay. Can you see this rainbow disappearing? I mean, that looks pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good anyway. Oh, it feels nice. Why is it so satisfying? Oh. Okay. This is taking forever. Bye.
Right. Can't remember where I left the last video, but we've been riding it, and it's now all dirty and covered in road grime. However, the skies have been very kind recently. Let me just do a quick walk around. And it's not too gross out here. I've got now a load of smegma all over the rear, but actually it's this little mudguard, it does quite a good job. It hasn't been pouring with rain, but I think I've got about 200 miles on this now. And I thought I'd take you along for a little commute home. Ready to race. Yes, we are ready to race. Warning. Let's go. Steering lock, first thing on this bike. Very, very shallow. So yeah, before the sun goes down, look at the state of that f***ing hole. Absolute state of it. Welcome to Broken Britain. So yeah, what have we got? This menu, this dash is amazing, by the way. So I've been riding this just before I go into the deep thoughts. I've been riding this for the last couple of days, just getting miles on it to run the bike in. But my initial thoughts are really positive. Really positive. I actually thought it would be a bit of a wet blanket, but it's got some real poke, real low down grunt to it, and it's actually really quite an engaging ride. But yeah, this screen, we're in track mode at the moment. This is really cool. There's a little rocker switch down here with your slip level adjuster, so that's your traction control, and you can activate it on the fly really quick and easy. That's great, really good. Clear gear indicator for when you're racing, because this is going to be my race bike. Nice smaller speedo in the corner there. Coolant and fuel. Pretty much everything you possibly need. It might get a bit boring and noisy now on this because the screen is not that protective. I like the spread of the bars, they're nice and wide, not like the little Japanese bikes where they're sort of tucked in. You feel like you've got a bit of broad, you feel like you can have a good old hammering and muscle it around. Speaking of muscling it around, I think that's probably my first, not even complaint, but I will say it does feel a little sluggish on the front end. It doesn't feel that fluid, like it doesn't drop on its ear that quick, like compared to the V2. Like going around here, I mean it's still good, but it's not quite Panigale V2 levels of turning. It actually sounds, with this stock exhaust, really quite good. It's got a nice little burble, nice little overrun. It feels like it wants to go fast, which is nice. I mean, obviously I can't really open it up just yet properly, but I can feel it's there, it's ready. What other things have I noticed? Early doors. Fuel, it does use quite a lot, or it feels like it uses quite a lot of fuel. I don't know whether the range goes down too quickly or not, I don't know. I think it's just under 16 litre tank size, so that's probably part of it. At night time, can you see here actually? You can probably see it if I move the camera up a little bit. When it's dark everywhere else, I mean it's quite dark now, but you can see the headlight through the top of the fairing, and it's quite bright, and I find that quite irritating. I mean we're talking minor niggle here, but it's worth pointing out. I don't like how bright that is, and there's just generally the build quality I'm really impressed with actually, but just little things like that, it's like, well, they could have blocked off that a bit. That would have been nice. I mean the seat is very, very hard. You're not going to want to do lots and lots of miles on this. It's not really a touring machine, but I think you probably knew that when you bought it. It's firm, but again, for what the purpose of this bike is, which is a sporty bike, it's nice. You can actually feel a bit of feedback through your buttocks. Generally, I've been really enjoying fannying around on this. It's been brilliant. But yeah, the shifts are nice and crisp, the blipper's good, the upshift's good, intuitive controls, and actually last night the KTM just did announce properly the track bike version, so it's got all the specs. The track bike version is 14 kilograms lighter than this. That's going to be a bit of a disadvantage, but I think a lot of that is the exhaust, so hopefully I've overcome a lot of those bits. The track bike version's got slightly different handlebars, slightly different geometry, and the other bit which I'm never going to overcome, it's got a much more race-derived gearbox, so it's got a longer first gear and a shorter sixth gear. Because the first gear on this bike is useless on a racetrack. I can't imagine there's any corners that you'd ever go into first. It's useless, particularly as this bike is so torquey. So I think that's going to be a real big advantage, having a longer first gear. Or maybe it won't. Maybe I'll just use second when they can't. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Oh, I do often confuse the menu nipple with the indicator nipple. You don't want to get your nipples confused. The power of this bike is akin to like a 996 Ducati. That's what it feels, about that sort of area, but much more reliable with electronics and, I'm going to say it, a better chassis. Right, well, it's probably getting a bit dark for you guys to see now. It's getting a bit dark for me to see. So I'll head off home if I actually make it home, avoiding these potholes. Thank you as always, and see you on the next one. Ah, nuttage. Oh, Carol nuttage. Pheasant. Squirrel. Fuck. It's like the bloody wind in the willows.